Okay, here we go. Today we are covering some news brought to us by our trusted sources at CBS. I was just scrolling through some of the, morning news, seeing what, new stuff is being covered, what's important to us. And I found this article by CBS asking some important questions about coronavirus and how we stay safe. I listed these for us in a little article, and so we can cover that and kind of go over these and see, are they good questions? Is there stuff to be learned? I'm not going to go over what they said because I didn't find it really relevant, so I want to answer them for you. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. My contact information is down here on the left, facebook.com/50md, youtube.com/50md, onlyfans.com. Email drswiftymd@gmail.com. Also include some of my hobbies: horses, skateboarding, punk rock, horse grooming, and pizza rolls. And if you want to check the article out yourself, here is a link to it right there. So first, they ask, with COVID virus mutations all the time, with the COVID virus mutating all the time, why do we only hear of 3 variants? Well, let's see. Why would we only hear of 3 variants? Now, before I can answer that, I need my trusty little pin. Here we go. So, let's open up our little thing real fast. And 3 variants. So, the question is, this has been around for a while. Why are we only hearing of... Why is this not working? So many little... Well, the question is, when did we discover there were variants, right? How long ago were there variants? And how long have we been looking at for these? That is the real question. Because if we haven't been looking for variants all the time, then there's kind of a reason we're only hearing about 3 of them, right? We wouldn't expect to hear about more if we've only been looking for them for a short period of time. So that's the main thing. The first variant that we have... Oh, come on, fiddlesticks. Why are you not working? I had that apply, don't I? All right. Okay. So, the first variant that we found was in the UK, and we found it around September. And the reason I'm not writing this is because my pen's not right. So, first variant was found in September in the UK. This variant consisted of a modified spike protein. Turns out, this modified spike protein, what it does is makes the virus enter the cell easier. So it's more infectious once it's inside it. I've covered this before. Therefore, it can replicate faster. And then spread faster after you cough it out. But vaccine works better. Alright. Then we have the South African virus. So, South African virus is another variant. Not virus, but variant. And it is about the same. So we have 2 more. I'm not going to cover all both these. We have South African and we have Brazil. And both pretty much the same. Some of them maybe more, they bind faster. Some bind, let's say bind stronger than UK. But nothing, oh, whoa, what is going on there, silly goose? Nothing suggests that the vaccines aren't working. Just questions by the news. They're the only people asking these questions and creating fear. So, next thing that we cover is why and how are these variants more transmissible? We have to define some words now. what is transmissible? So, why and how are the variants transmissible? More. So the definition of transmissible is spreads easier from person to person. How do we define that? Because I said before, the variants are only inclusive to the spike protein. Variants are only stronger when they're inside you. So they don't transmit easier from person to person. But if you said them getting inside you makes them easier to spread later on, then okay. But they don't. There's nothing about the virus in its structure that allows it jump from person to person. So how and why? I would say they're not. I don't think these variants are. So that's a negative on that one. So third question. Why would it be possible for the virus to mutate such that... Would it be possible for the virus to mutate in such a way that the same variant develops separately in two different countries? Well, duh. At the beginning, so let's say... You have some good handwriting. So here's our timeline. January 2020, we had one virus variant. And let's say January 2021, we have, say, 3 or 4 viruses. So the question is it possible that each one of these can do this? Well, no shit it can. It did it back here. So why wouldn't it do it again? Yes, it's possible. I know that you once in your life had a father and mother. Whether unfortunately they're alive or dead today, I know at one point you had one because you exist. Therefore, I know these viruses once had a father and mother virus for them to evolve from. So, therefore, it's possible for them to do the same thing. Nothing's saying that it's going to stop. It's the nature of viruses. Viruses are very bad at replication. Human beings have a lot of checks and balances to protect their DNA from damage, so they are very consistent, and we don't get cancers and other genetic disorders. But viruses, they're very primitive. You know, a virus, let's draw it like this. Here's the capsid that the virus is in. It consists of its genetic material, so the DNA, RNA, whatever it is. Sometimes that's it. Sometimes it has proteins that read and replicate the genetic material. But that's pretty much it. That's all it consists of. Once it goes into the host cell, it either hijacks machinery to replicate its DNA and RNA, or it hides and replicates itself and then leaves. So it doesn't really need to do much. All it has is this, and each time it doesn't have any other machinery to protect it from making its... All it wants to do is get in, out, get out, get in, get out really fast. And if it makes some mistakes along the way, it doesn't care, because sometimes those are advantageous. As in this case, the spike protein Okay, so the spike protein mutated in a way that it made it more infectious once it was inside you. So in this case, the mutation, the bad replicating, was good for it. So yes, it will happen again. Considering variants and how quickly they transmit, should we change the way we interact with other people apart from what we're already doing for the regular coronavirus? So the regular virus. The regular. Like, this one's not bad anymore. So, what else should we do? Social distance. Wear masks. Avoid people and places outside of your norm. Normal. So, yeah, do what we're supposed to be doing. Just do it. So if you're not doing it, do what we originally said. And if you are doing it, then no, the variant, let's put this in red, is not more dangerous if you are doing what is suggested. Highly suggested. I would say told, but a lot of people have egos. I don't like authority. The virus can't walk around. So, you and me are the only way to spread the variant. Now, one day it may mutate and become airborne, but that's because of you, because it mutated inside you. So, do I need to do anything different? Yes, if you're not doing anything at all. If you're being a good citizen and steward to the rest of your people, then no, you don't need to. But keep doing it. What about taking the elevator? Yeah. Alright, so there's not much to it. When the news cycle gets stale, because this has been a year, and, you know, let's kind of look at this timeline again. In a year, we discovered a new virus. Shut down the world. Developed a vaccine. And a lot of people have died. In a year. And we're don't know what to do, because it's scary. It's a pandemic. Not only is this a medical crisis, it's an economic crisis, a social crisis. We have to remember that. It's economic. Meaning, people die, businesses will fail. This is not good. All around. People die, businesses will fail. Just because people are dying doesn't mean businesses can't fail. This will happen, and that is the nature of this. We've ignored this aspect of it, but it's part of the pandemic. It's what happens. And we have our social. You know, I asked some people, I was like, well, how's your life changed? Well, they can't go to bars. They can't go to restaurants. Well, my response was, I have no life. So I'm like, well, who cares? Well, that's part of their life. So if you don't have a social aspect, you get depressed, and it comes with it. So restaurants, friends, birthdays, death. This is a main part of what's horrible about this. When you die from COVID, get ready for it. You will die alone. You will maybe get to FaceTime with your family if you're conscious. But you will be in a sterile, scary hospital with just strangers around you that are probably tired of seeing this happen to other people. It's weighing on themselves, seeing people have to be in that situation dying. So they're going to be not the funnest people to be around, and that's your only source of comfort. It's going to suck. You know that when you check into this hospital, you may be feeling okay. You maybe have a little breathing problems, but the doctor says, it's probably best you go in. And you're all right. You don't think that you're going to die. That when you leave your family at the door, that may be the last time you see them. That is how serious this is. Yet people care more about being able to go to their restaurant. Because some people don't die from this. Well, talk to the ones that have. And have that discussion with them. Don't have discussions with people that are all in your same cohort. Because you're not going to learn anything new. But that's a really scary thought. So, besides that, have a great Friday, right? Woo! It's awesome. It's snowing across the whole country. And people in Texas, not only are they in a pandemic, they don't have heat. So, keep your neighbors in your